How many of you in the room have mainframe computers? Hold up your hands. One hand reluctantly went up down here in the front. You don't have mainframe computers because distributed computing came in. And with the semiconductor technology, you have increasingly powerful, very small devices that now weigh a couple of pounds, and they'll do all kinds of things. They're a file cabinet, and they connect you to the world in all sorts of ways. The same thing needs to happen to the power system. And power technology has been moving in that direction with photovoltaics and microturbines and eventually perhaps hydrogen and so forth. So what needs to happen in this country on a wartime basis is that we get off coal. Nuclear is not an answer either. There is no magic bullet solution here. Bill McKibben describes this, there's no silver bullet, but there's lots of silver buckshot out there. But it's going to be a system of power, and I want to put it, we just came through an election campaign. Hardly anybody talked about, as a matter of fact, I didn't hear Obama or McCain talk about efficiency in anywhere near the degree that it needed to be discussed. And efficiency means we could eliminate probably half the energy consumption. I mentioned last night the McKinsey reports come in about 30%. Change a couple of the assumptions in those reports and you get to 50% very quickly. Eliminate all the waste, all the things we really don't need to light up, like shopping malls at 3 o'clock in the morning. We can cut out a lot of waste, and the technology, and Tom had the slide of the refrigerator use. If you bought a refrigerator 10 years ago, it used around 1,750 kilowatt hours of electricity. State of the art now is around 200. And the capacity has gone up, the quality of the machine has gone up, the price has gone down relative to in constant dollars. So technology can do a whole lot of things around that. I'll toss one more thing in this. Herman Daly's use of the word frugality this morning. We aren't going to live like we now live. You mentioned George Monbiot's book, and George had a quote in one of his columns saying that we live better than anyone has ever lived. We live better than anyone will ever live. I think that's true only in a certain narrow sense of living well, that we've got a lot more gadgetry than people have any need for. So I want to start with frugality and efficiency. And I think Daly had it right in his talk that you start with frugality and you move to efficiency. That's what's the driver in the process. And then you bring in all the gadgetry that photovoltaics and all these things that can use energy much more efficiently. You can build buildings that are powered entirely by sunlight. That's now feasible. And one last thing on this. When Chuck describes mountaintop removal, we all know that we don't pay, the price of a kilowatt hour is not, the base load is not 2 to 3 cents. That's bull. You add in the cost of the miners who die, the people, the 25,000 or so, and I think the number may be larger that he mentioned, that die from breathing small particle pollution of 10 microns and less. Add up all the costs of mountaintop removal and the loss of the most ancient verdant forest on the planet, and the cost of a kilowatt hour of electricity is incredibly expensive. It's more like 40 to 50 cents or even higher if you pay the full cost. So I think there are a lot better solutions out there. We need to put the whole range of issues back on the table. And this is, as Majora has pointed out, this is a justice issue. And I want to add one last thing. This isn't just something we need to do right now for this generation. Imagine having to make our decisions in this generation just relative to those 5, 10, 15, 20 generations out. Given that long tail that I described, that's exactly the length of time we now need to be thinking and recalibrate our laws and economics to the realities of that long tail. But thanks for the question.